Hello everyone, welcome to the Stalwart Initiative, and we're back for our first Unearthed Arcana of 2021, Gothic Lineages. And yeah, sorry I'm a few days late on this one, but had a lot of stuff going on this last week, and also look, green screen, woo, green screen. This will allow me to fit more things on these reviews, and also let me do some other stuff that's coming up this year that I'm very excited about. But yeah, hooray, technology. Let's jump right in. Okay, first up, we're going to be looking at the new race options, which are actually lineages, and I'm going to explain how that works here shortly. But the Dhampir, guessing that's how it's pronounced, the Hexblood, and the Reborn. And these options are special. You can choose one at character creation or at an appropriate time later in a campaign, transforming your character. So this is going to kind of change. The way races are handled in 5e is going to change here. And this started in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and I think it's a good change. It's a good change, and I really think this should have been species to begin with. The whole race thing doesn't make any sense to me. Plus, yeah, I'm glad they're going away from it, and also adding versatility, more versatility to the game. You know, if you're a half-orc that trains in magic your entire life, but leads the physical part to the side, then yeah, you may be a little hardy to begin with because of your race. But at the end of the day, you really didn't put any work into becoming more physically imposing. So why not? Why do those points not go into things that you want them to? So these lineages are going to help in that manner. Let's take a look. So, creating your character. At first level, you choose whether your character is a member of the human race or one of the game's fantastical races. Alternatively, you can choose one of the following lineages. If you choose a lineage, you might have once been a member of another race, but you aren't any longer. You now possess only your lineage's racial traits. When you create a character using a lineage, option here, follow these additional rules during character creation. And there's a sidebar here, right? I did see this. Okay. Before I go into these exact little details here, actually I'll hit them and then I'll hit the sidebar because it is down here on the next page. But this is important stuff because racial stuff changed during Tasha's A Cauldron of Everything. A good change for the game, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, let's take a look. So ability score increases. When you determine your ability scores, increase one of the two scores by 2 and increase a different one by 1. These increases can't raise a score above 20. You follow this rule regardless of the method you use to determine the scores, such as rolling or point buy. And by the way, standard array is nothing more than point buy. Just want to put that out there. A lot of people thinking that standard array is a whole separate thing. It's just a nice balanced way of using your point buy. If you are replacing your race with a lineage, replace any ability score increase you previously had with these. So this is again how they put it in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. You give a +2 to one ability score and a +1 to another you pick, which can be a huge buff for certain classes like Kobold and stuff. And yeah, and also lets you, like I mentioned earlier, form your character more around what you're aiming for them to do, what they've been trained to do. You know, if they're a barbarian who has been living a barbarian lifestyle, shouldn't they deserve to have more strength and con or whatever they've worked towards for your character? So I do like that. I do like that. It was a little tough at first to picturing a very weak, like stronger race like a Goliath. But hey, if you're focusing your life in a different direction, then it should reflect that as well. Languages. Your character can speak, read, and write common and one other language that you and your DM agree is appropriate for the character. The Player's Handbook offers a list of widespread languages to choose from. The DM is free to add or remove languages from that list for a particular campaign. If you're replacing your race with a lineage, you retain any languages you had and gain no new languages. So if you're not doing this at level 1 and you are becoming a Dhampir or Hexblood or Reborn later on in the campaign, then you retain those languages and you don't switch one out. But like in Tasha's Cauldron, you can switch a language out with something else or another language, as long as you and your DM agree on it and it's appropriate for your campaign setting. Next up is creature type. Every creature in D&D, including every player character, has a special tag in the rules that identifies the type of creature they are. Most player characters are of the humanoid type. A race option presented here tells you what your character's creature type is. And it says the list of types. Here's a list of the game's creature types in alphabetical order: aberration, beast, celestial, construct, dragon, elemental, fey, fiend, giant, humanoid, monstrosity, ooze, plant, and undead. These types have rules themselves, but some rules in the game affect creatures of certain types in different ways. For example, the creature or the text of Cure Wounds spell specifies that the spell doesn't work on a creature that has the construct or undead type. And then it goes on to further explain that having more than one type, as you will more than likely have in this when you take one of these three races, or lineages rather. Some creatures are more than one creature type. If an effect works on at least one of the creature types, that effect can work on that creature. For example, if you are both humanoid and undead, Cure Wounds works on you, since the spell works on a humanoid, which is good in this case. So because it's kind of it feels bad if your cleric or your healer of whatever class can't heal you because you are now partially undead. So it's probably best that they leaned into allowing each one instead of excluding you for having that particular creature tag. Okay, next up we have, but keep that in mind. So if you're playing a campaign, and as far as my understanding, if you're playing a campaign and one of the NPC like clerics or or monster hunter comes in and uses some kind of spell or divine something against what they would normally do against undead, and you have that as a creature type, theoretically that works against you too. So trade-off there. Next up for the design note, and this is the little side note thing that I wanted to discuss earlier. So changes to racial traits. In 2020, the book Tasha's Cauldron of Everything introduced the option to customize several of your character's racial traits. Specifically, the ability score increase trait, the language trait, and the traits that give skill, armor, weapon, and tool proficiencies. Following in that book's footsteps, the race options in this article and in future D&D books lack the ability score increase trait, the language trait, the alignment trait, and any other trait that is purely cultural. Racial traits henceforth reflect only the physical or magical realities of being a player character who's a member of a particular lineage. Such traits include things like dark vision, a breath weapon, as if you were dragonborn, or innate magical ability, as if you were a forest gnome. Such traits don't include cultural characteristics like language or training with a weapon or tool, and the traits also don't include an alignment suggestion, since alignment is a choice for each individual, not a characteristic shared by a lineage. Finally, going forward, the term race in D&D refers only to the suite of game features used by player characters. Said features don't have any bearing on monsters and NPCs who are members of the same species or lineage, since monsters and NPCs in D&D don't rely on a race or class to function. Moreover, DMs are empowered to customize the features of the creatures in their game as they wish. Yeah, that's just clearing up a lot of the changes that are now coming through since Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So first up, out of our three new lineages, we have Dhampir. Poised between the worlds of the living and the dead, Dhampirs retain their grip on life, yet are endlessly tested by vicious hungers. Their ties to the undead grant Dhampirs a taste of a vampire's deathless prowess in the form of increased speed, dark vision, and a life-draining bite. With unique insights into the nature of the undead, many Dhampirs turn to the lives of adventurers and monster hunters. Their reasons are often deeply personal. Some seek danger, imagining monsters as personifications of their own hungers. Others pursue revenge against whatever turned them into a Dhampir. And still, others embrace the solitude of the hunt, striving to distance themselves from those who tempt their hunger. Yeah, very vampire-like, and I think there can be other crossovers in addition to vampire. Let's keep reading here. So, Dhampir hungers. Every Dhampir knows a thirst slaked. Boy, I haven't seen that word in a while. Slaked only by the living. This desire is a whisper in the mind, a tinge to the sight, a reflex constantly needing to be suppressed. Those who overindulge their thirst risk losing control and forever viewing. Scroll up. Yeah, by the way, I'm glad I could stretch this out more so you can see a more zoomed in version of this on your screen, especially if you're watching this on mobile. I know those can be super tiny. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on mobile. So yeah, distracted myself. And forever viewing others as prey. Those who resist might find exceptional ways of controlling their urges or suppress it through constant molar grinding restraint. And in any case, temptation haunts Dhampirs, and circumstances conspire to give them endless reasons to indulge. While many Dhampirs thirst for blood, your character might otherwise gain sustenance from the living. Roll on or choose an option from the Dhampir Hungers table to determine what tempts your character to feed. And it's a D8 table, and you could be hungry for blood, you know, the whole vampire thing, flesh or raw meat, cerebral spinal fluid, esoteric humors, psychic energy, a color from one's appearance, and I think it was on a cartoon that said a vampire craved colors. Can't remember it. Cartoon Network. Yeah, it's there. Someone will remind me. Dreams or life energy. That's a very nice list, and the fact that it says, you know, go ahead and pick or roll randomly. Very cool there. Yeah, you can have everything from the Mind Flayer tadpole in your head to apparently craving colors and raw meat. Kind of disturbing, but very cool, RP wise. So Dhampir origins. Dhampirs often arise from encounters with vampires, but all manners of macabre bargains, necromantic influences, and encounters with mysterious immortals might have transformed your character. The Dhampir origins table provides suggestions for how your character gained their lineage, and this lends to you becoming a Dhampir in the middle of a campaign as opposed to like right off the bat. Not that both aren't equally as cool, but you know, if you have this chance encounter in the middle of a campaign, you could tell your DM, discuss with them, hey, you know, maybe like one of those hits that I took, could that have possibly changed me? And yeah, very cool. As a DM, I would welcome that with open arms, and we would make it work. So here's all the Dhampir origins, different origin stories you could have here. I'm not going to read over all those, but I'm going to have a link to this Unearthed Arcana in the description, so check it out if you'd like. Next up, we have the official Dhampir traits, and remember, we don't have the ability score increases or any of that stuff that's interchangeable. The cultural stuff is now no longer with the race stuff. You have type, humanoid and undead. So you were humanoid, now you're undead, and you're both. Boom. You have two types. You can be medium or small, which is very nice. The racial constraints on size sometimes bother me because you can have things happen. You can be a very tall dwarf, or not very tall, very small dwarf, or a very tall halfling because of something happening. Who knows? That might qualify you for a size change, but you know what? Choose when you gain this lineage, and your speed is 35 feet, so you get a nice boosted speed. Oh, squeaky chair, my bad. Nice boosted 35 speed movement. You have dark vision, makes sense. You know, vampires and otherwise, and most things have dark vision these days. Spider climb. You have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. In addition, at 3rd level, you can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving your hands free. That's cool. That's a very vampire walk up the wall with your feet and not even need to be holding, which is great. Great for surprise attacks because you can still hold a bow or a weapon and be able to do your stuff. That's very cool. And getting that at 3rd level, that's early. Very nice. Very nice. You also get your vampiric bite. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so your fanged bite is a natural weapon, which counts as a simple melee weapon with which you are proficient. You add your constitution modifier to the attack and damage rolls, and when you attack with your bite. Your bite deals 1d4 piercing damage on a hit, and while you are missing half or more of your hit points, you have advantage on attack rolls you make with this bite. Remember, unless stated specifically, in 5e, half means rounded down, not rounded up. And when you use your bite and hit a creature that isn't a construct or undead, you can empower yourself in one of the following ways of your choice. We're going to come back to something here in a minute. Regain hit points equal to the damage dealt by the bite, which is nice, and you can gain a bonus to the next ability check or attack roll you make. The bonus equals the damage dealt by the bite. You can empower yourself with your bite a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, here's why I'm confused on that. So your bite deals 1d4 piercing damage, as stated there. And it uses your constitution modifier. No, let me rephrase that. It adds your constitution modifier. So does that mean that it adds it in addition to your strength modifier? And if it does, let's say your con is 2, and your strength, you're probably gonna max that out if you're a melee fighter. Or any other class that's melee. You're gonna max that out at 5. But let's say you get this at level 1, right? And you have a 16 for your strength and a 2 for your con. So that's +5 plus your proficiency bonus. That's +7 to hit. And +5 to your damage. So that's a d4 +5 for your damage with this bite, which you can do all the time. It doesn't say the bite is restricted. Right down here it says you can empower yourself with your bite a number of times. So you can empower yourself with your bite. That doesn't say that you can only bite that many times. So you got a d4 +5 bite attack, which is great. And not overpowered, because you can only... It's not that big a deal, but I'm picturing how this scales and how much health you regain. As a level 1 character, you deal 1d4 +5 damage, and once per... was it short rest? Or no, I'm sorry, not once per. Proficiency bonus, so 2 times at level 1. Long rest. So 2 times per long rest, you can bite and gain one of these benefits, including one being regain health. Not too overpowered, I wouldn't say, but you could double tap that at later levels. Later levels, you can consistently do multi-attacks, right? When you get multi-attack, if you're one of those classes. And you can use this times proficiency with the powered up version. And you have advantage on this attack if you're below 50%. I really like this. Wow, that's powerful. If they keep I don't know if they're going to keep the con modifier, because that's going to scale super hard. Once you max out your main combat, if this is a strength-based character, once you max out that strength at 5, even if you're starting to bring your con up, that's going to be some attacks that hit more often than most attacks, and especially if you're below half health. And yeah, you're right. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but regaining the health and regaining it multiple times per long rest, I'm going to wonder if they're going to change that. Very useful, by the way. As written right now, very useful vampiric bite. I like it. I like it. I like the Dhampir all around. Very cool. Very cool lineage. Next up, we have Hexblood. Where wishing fails, ancient magic can offer a heart's desire, at least for a time. Hexbloods are individuals infused with eldritch magic, fey energy, or mysterious witchcraft. Some who enter into bargains with hags gain their deepest wishes, but eventually find themselves transformed. These changes evidence a hag's influence. Ears that split in forked points, skin in wild shades, lengthy hair that regrows if cut, and an irremovable living crown. Along with these marks, Hexbloods manifest hag-like traits such as a long life, dark vision, and a variety of magical methods to beguile the senses and avoid the same. While many Hexbloods gain their lineage after making a deal with a hag, others reveal their nature as they age, particularly if a hag influenced them early in life or even before their birth. Many Hexbloods turn to lives of adventure, seeking to discover the mysteries of their magic, to forge a connection with their fey natures, or to avoid a hag that obsesses over them. This is cool. This, like it says, you can have this thematically come up during the game if you've come across hags, and also by birth. I mean, you could have been cursed by hags with this Hexblood thing before you were even born. So makes sense as a level 1 character as well. Heir of hags. One way hags create more of their kind is through the creation of hexbloods. Every hexblood exhibits features suggestive of the hag whose magic inspires their powers. This includes an unusual crown, often called an elder cross, or witch's turn. This living garland-like part of a hexblood's body extends from their temples and wraps behind the head, serving as a visible mark of the bargain between hag and hexblood, a debt owed or a change to come. And it says about becoming a hag, a little side note about becoming a hag. We're going to skip on down to the Hexblood origins. A bargain with a hag or other eerie forces transformed your character into a magical being. Roll on or choose an option from the Hexblood origins table to determine how your character gained their lineage. And yeah, this could be one of the many ways that you've come across becoming Hexblood. You can read over that table if you'd like. And let's go down to Hexblood traits. So this one is a dual type with Fey and Humanoid, and it can also be small or medium. You have a movement speed of 30 feet, and you have Dark Vision, because yay, Dark Vision, and Fey Resilience. You have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end the Charmed condition on yourself. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so it doesn't do the whole Charmed sleep, but it does do Charmed. You also have Hex Magic. You can cast Disguise Self and Hex spells with this trait. Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spell casting ability for these spells. Choose when you gain this lineage. Oh, that's really cool that they let you choose, especially now since you are choosing your ability score improvements points at the beginning or when you gain this lineage. That's very cool that they let you choose which one of these you want to pick as your modifier. Once you cast either of these spells with this trait, you can't cast a spell with it again until you finish a long rest. And you can also cast these spells using any spell slot you have. Oh, that's cool. All right. So that allows you, it gives you a free use. You cast either. Okay, a free use of one of these two spells per long rest. And it puts those spells on your spell list. So whatever spells you can cast, you can use any of those slots for this. That's very cool. So you gain Disguise Self and Hex as spells, which is very nice, especially if you're something like a sorcerer who has a limited amount of spells to choose from. This is very cool. Very cool. Next up is Magic Token. As an action, you can harmlessly pull out one of your nails, a tooth, or a lock of hair. This token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. Kind of gross, and I love it. While the token is imbued in this way, you can use an action to send a telepathic message to the creature holding or carrying the token, as long as you are on the same plane of existence and are within 10 miles of it. The message can contain up to 25 words. Excuse me. Okay. You know what's cool about this? It doesn't say that or holding or carrying. It doesn't say that to be willing. So you can send a message this way, which is more so like almost like a sending spell. So you can send the message up to 10 miles, which is really nice. You can even you can pull out a fingernail or a tooth and put it in someone's pocket and send them a message. That's pretty cool. In addition, while you're within 10 miles of the token, you can use your action to enter a trance for 1 minute, during which you can see and hear from the token as if you were located where it is. While you're using your senses at the token's location, you're blinded and deafened in regard to your own surroundings. Afterward, the token is harmlessly destroyed. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Okay. Wow. That's really cool. So you can have do some recon with your toenails. That's exactly what I've always wanted to do in 5e, is recon with my toenails. Once you create a token using this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, at which point your missing part regrows. Oh, and fast growing. Yeah, especially if you bust your finger up and you have that the purple fingernail from busting it up and having all that blood underneath there. You can, just yank it out and it regrows after a long rest. Very cool. Reborn. So, as far as the Hexblood, I like it. I really like it. Fey Resilience is nice to have, especially since Charmed can be so brutal. Dark Vision, of course, is great. Does the next one have Dark Vision? I bet it does. Because, everyone... Yep, it does. Okay. Everyone should have Dark Vision, apparently. Hex Magic is great. You learn 2 spells. You flat out learn 2 spells, which is great. And you can cast them with spells or with spell slots, and you get 1 free use of one or the other. And Magic Token is great. I like that. So both these lineages are great so far. Let's go over the last one. Reborn. Death isn't always the end. The Reborn exemplify this, being individuals who have died, yet somehow still live. Some Reborn exhibit the scars of fatal fates, their ashen flesh, missing limbs, or bloodless veins, making it clear that they've been touched by death. Other Reborn are marvels of magic or science, being stitched together from disparate beings or bearing mysterious minds in manufactured bodies. Whatever their origins, Reborn know a new life and seek experiences and answers all their own. Okay, so I'm thinking Frankenstein. Frankenstein's what it sounds like anyway. Faded memories. Reborn suffer from some manner of discontinuity. Discontinuity. There we go. Blech. An interpretation of their lives or physical state that their minds are ill-equipped to deal with. Their memories of events before this interruption and often vague or absent. Occasionally, the most unexpected experiences might cause sensations or visions of the past to come rushing back. Rather than sleeping, Reborn regularly sit and dwell on the past, hoping for some revelation of what came before. Most of the time, these are dark, silent stretches. Occasionally, though, in a moment of peace, stress, or excitement, a Reborn gains a glimpse of what came before. When you desire to have such a dreamlike vision, roll on the Lost Memories table to inspire its details. That's really cool. That's very cool to be able to elicit these memories of your former life. Very cool. Oh, delicious brew. And you can check out that table there. Okay, Reborn origins. Reborn might originate from circumstances similar to those of various undead or constructs. Roll on or choose an option from the Reborn origins table to determine how your character gained their lineage. And yet another table. Boy, this one's just bombarding you with tables. But that's okay. It helps stir the juices for how you're going to go into this lineage, either at character creation or at some point in your campaign. Reborn traits. You're humanoid, and as well as construct or undead. Oh, this gives you a choice of your second type. Okay. So when you choose this lineage, you can pick undead or construct, which kind of makes sense. So if you were living and you're now like the Frankenstein model, then you are technically undead. Or if you're just built from the ground up, you can be construct. Maybe have like a human mind with memories in there floating around. Medium or small is your size. 30 feet is your movement speed. You have dark vision and deathless nature. You have escaped death, a fact represented by the following benefits. You have advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned, and you have resistance to the poison damage. You also have advantage on death saving throws. Wow, that's really good. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, and you don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You can finish a long rest in 4 hours if you spend those hours in an inactive, motionless state, during which you retain consciousness. Okay, that's even better than the trance states and stuff. Very cool. Okay, well, that's actually pretty useful. Advantage on death saving throws is great. Okay, you don't sleep. The sleep thing is great. It's giving off heavy Warforged vibes, but it's slightly different because you can be poisoned, and I like it. Okay, that's good so far. So deathless nature is good. And it looks like last up we have knowledge from a past life. You temporarily remember sporadic glimpses of the past, perhaps faded memories from ages ago or a previous life. When you make an ability check that uses a skill, you can roll a d6 and add the number rolled to the check. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so this is kind of like the Artificer's, the Artificer's Flash of Genius, I think it's called. They get it at 7th level, although that is a flat bonus that you would use according to their intelligence modifier, I believe. But okay, so it's, and also like a inspiration, a very base level inspiration, but inspiration nonetheless, and you can use it multiple times per long rest. I like it. That's cool. I like it. Not as much as the other two, but I do like it. It does have some hardy features. And yeah, that's our 3 lineages for this Unearthed Arcana. I like it. I like the way they're going with the whole races, species thing, and the lineages. I just hope they really get in there and find a good place that is kind to everyone. So let me know what you think about these lineages in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon, and hopefully we have some more good content coming for you. 2021, woo! And we'll see you all real soon. Until then, unity is strength. So take care of each other. Stay safe. See you next time. Bye.